Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Courtney and I hope you are doing so very well. It's been a while since I've put up something on my channel and there'll be some pre-filming happening because we are moving house in about 2 weeks. So I've already actually filmed this video before, but my autofocus was on and it wasn't coping very well with some of the shininess on things, so I thought it was I'd have to refilm it. And also my finance planner, I had some personal information that I hadn't covered up yet and I couldn't edit it out, so I am filming again. So what am I using for 2016 in regards to planners and journals? Well, I will show you. Now, just a recap on what I was using last year for 2015. I was using a Hobo as my planner for 2015. Well, I started out in my Hobo and I used that up until July, and then One Book July kind of hit and I ran with One Book July because even though I loved the idea of the Hobo, I did miss a week to a glance and things snuck up on me because this is a day to a page and I didn't realize that I would have so much trouble with a day to a page, but and Hobonichis and with the exchange rate are really expensive, so I stuck it out because this thing was pricey. But when One Book July came, I kind of used it as my get out of jail free card, and I switched into my Giramondo, my gold Giglio Giramondo, for my planner basically. And I made my own little insert, as you guys probably remember from my videos, to see if I enjoyed it or not. And I actually really enjoyed the size and all that sort of thing. So that was how I did it, and I had everything in one book. I had my journal, I had, I split a book up into brain dump and all that sort of stuff, and my YouTube and blog stuff like that. And obviously I went on to do, after One Book July, I went on to do the Christmas after that, and then I was going to do 2016 in this size. And I had my insert and everything, and I did a video on this insert by my friend Haley at Pause Plan Create. But my body had other issues, and that was my shoulders were really hurting, particularly my left shoulder, and I'm left-handed if you didn't know, so I needed to rethink how I was going to tackle 2016 in regards to what I carried and what I used. But I'll talk more about that in a minute. For my blog and YouTube, I was using this planner by Rebecca Scarletta Kale here, and it was my best friend Joanne gave me this for Christmas and it was pretty intensive, lots of information and lots of all that sort of stuff, how to improve, giveaways, all that sort of stuff. And I used it, but it was too much information that I wasn't utilizing this as well as I could have been, and I think it was because it was just all too overwhelming. And I'm not that hardcore. I realized when I got this into my hands, I'm not that hardcore about my blog and my YouTube channel. Everything's sort of growing organically, and this was making it very job-like, and that's not what I'm about. So even though this was fantastic in 2015, it's not something that I'm going to seek out again and buy in 2016. No way, no how. And for my journal, I was obviously journaling in my Giramondo and using various sketchbooks and things like that. Now that hasn't changed. As you can see, let me grab them. I haven't changed my journal in a while. You guys have seen my flip throughs of these, and that's not changing in 2016 either. I am still going to be journaling in my Giramondo in the regular Midori size. I like it. I like the idea of having these all lined up in a row, and basically you can pick, you know, pick a book and you can see what's happened in that year. I like that idea. So I'm keeping with the this size for my journaling in 2016. This is volume 3 and it's almost done. I'm almost at the end, so we've got Christmas and things like that, so I'm almost there. And then I've also started I started putting together the cover of my 2016 volume 4 journal, and that's obviously blank at the moment because I haven't finished my other one, but I like to have it sitting there kind of reminding me to get my butt into gear and do some journaling, because sometimes you need a visual reminder of what's to come. So my journal is literally just this. This is nothing else now except for my journal. I won't be putting a planner in here. I mean, One Book July is going to come again this year, and I don't know if I'll participate this year because I quite like my setup currently for 2016, and because my shoulder is hurting so much, I had to reevaluate everything that I did. So this is my journal for 2016, and that is the Gold Giramondo by Giglio, and it's very well loved, as you can see. And my planner for 2016, if you haven't noticed already, I did an unboxing video of my Flapjack Naked Cow personal size. I have fallen in love with the personal size. I didn't realize how much I had fallen in love with it until I've used it now for about 3 weeks, and it's starting to get dirty already, but that's life. Planners get dirty if you use them. And so I've also got the floating envelope system you would have seen on my video, and the cash envelope system in the pocket there. So I have some of my cards here that my most used ones. I don't have any FPOS cards. I just have a credit card here for emergencies, but it hasn't been touched because we are doing the cash envelope system. And this is the same insert as this, only a minor change from Hayley at Pause Plan Clip Create. She made all my inserts in this size for me, and then when I decided that I was going personal due to my shoulder, she also made me all of 2016 in the personal size. And the only difference, so you have the little intro page, and this is for January, February, March, so each booklet is 3 months. And then you have the monthly overview, or not the monthly, the yearly overview for 2016 and 2017. Birthdays and events, which is really handy because we have a large family. And little positive affirmations, which is one of the things I really loved about this planner. And then your overview for the month. So we're actually in February now. So let me go to the February pages. So here's February, and it has the February overview. It also has notes and scribbles page for the month. Then it has a finance section, which I don't fill out because I have a finance planner, but I do use the online shopping tracker. So when I purchase something, it does get written down here so I know what I'm keeping track of. And then it has the month to a glance with a small notes section. And then it has the week to one page with gridded notes, and that's the only difference between this insert, which was 2 weeks to a page with a little box on each side. I actually really prefer the grid on one side because I like to, you know, take notes and scribbles and little reminders to myself that don't fit in here. And so this is this week, and as you can see, it's a crazy mess. We move house in 2.5 weeks, so it's going to be crazy. So I have this as my planner, and then I just have the Naked Cow gridded insert as a somewhat bullet journal, which I haven't properly started yet, but it's on my wants to do, to have a running, especially now that we're moving house. I need a lot of to-dos. And then obviously the floating envelope pocket on this side as well, which has got stickers and receipts and all that sort of thing. So that is what I'm carrying as my planner for 2016, and that is the only planner I have. I don't have any others. I did try the field note size, but it was too small, and I found that personal size is the beauty balance between the Midori size and field notes. So highly recommend personal size, and also the Naked Cow. So there's that. And talking about other planners, I'm going to be doing a more in-depth video on this, I think. As I mentioned in my review and also just before, my husband and I are currently doing the cash envelope system, which is by Dave Ramsey. So I don't have my envelopey things in this room at the moment, because we're sort of consolidating our finances at the moment for the house moving. So in here, this is my A5 Mia Cara. This is just the inside part of the planner. As you know, with the Gilio Mia Cara, the insert just slips into this, but I normally carry it around naked because this is a lot of planner, but it is beautiful. So when I'm just planning at home on the weekend, all of our bills and things that we've got coming up are in this pocket here. And then I'm not going to show you specifics because I don't, this is what happened. I had things everywhere, and you could see our debts and what we were paying and this and that. So under here is a breakdown of the nitty gritty, and it has like all our bills, all our expenses, everything, and what we would generally pay for each month. So we needed to work out what we were going to delegate each month. So our rego and insurance costs us $1,200 a year. So we needed to put $100 a month away so that next year we can pay it out in a lump sum and not be scrambling for $1,200. And our rego normally comes out in January. So it's right after Christmas, and it's just an expense that we have to, you know, worry about. So doing it this way is a lot smarter. It does take a lot of, what's the word, discipline to go, because you get to close to the end of the month and, you know, things are running low, and you're like, oh, I'll just borrow some money out of, you know, the entertainment section for this. And you can't. You have to be disciplined and know that there's no more money left in this section. That's it for the month, unless it's complete emergency. So this is the whole breakdown of what we write down to, like medication. So a monthly allowance put aside for medications, if we, our medical things. And then under this tab is the finance inserts that I bought from Plan Ink Printables, and I'll put a link down below. And under here is like our debt snowball and what we're covering first and all that sort of thing, what debt we're going to attack first, because he recommends paying off one debt, paying the minimum amount on all your other debts, but funneling in cash into one debt and getting rid of it, and it creates a domino effect basically. Here we have bills and payments, and basically things that come out and when they come out, and then you tick them as they happen. I have to actually update some of these because obviously they've been done and they needed to be ticked, so that's okay. I'm happy to show you that there's no figures or anything like that. So it's got like our rent, loans, mobiles, water bill, electric, all that sort of stuff, and then tick when they've been paid for the month. And then it has so I'll flip to pages that you guys can't see. Let's go to March. So it has a monthly overview, and that's where we put in when things are due and important days. So on our last, you know, January or February, we had the days that the rego was due and the insurance was due, and like important days to remember, the day that we get paid so we can go and do our cash withdrawal. So we sat down and worked out how many denominations we needed. So if our food budget is $175 a week, so we would get out $175 times 4. So we'd have to work out how many 50s, how many 20s and all that sort of thing. We did that for everything. It took me forever. So there's that, and then it has an expense tracker here, and this, I use this for things that were not planned for, like in January Lily needed glasses. We found out that she had her eye test done and she needed glasses. That was an expense we had not planned for, so we had to use our credit card to pay for that. So that is tracking stuff that we were not foreseeing, because everything else is basically tracked down to the T. And then it has a budget worksheet. So you've got your fixed expenses, savings, goals down here, your total income, your total expenses, total savings, and variable expenses. And I'm pretty sure that is it for the year. So it's the same sort of setup each month. If you'd like a more in-depth sort of explanation and a talk about how we're doing the cash thing and how it's going and what we're implementing, leave a comment down below, and I'll definitely do a whole finance thing in a couple of maybe 1 to 2 months, so that I have a better grasp of the whole situation. So like this little thing here is where I was working out the denomination. So there's a whole lot of 20s, 10s, 100s, 5s, right down to $2.20 pieces. So that is how we're doing the finance thing. And then we have a little divider thing, which I might go get and show you, that goes along with this, so that it's too hard to explain. So I'm going to pause it here and go grab them. Okay, so I've grabbed our little things. We bought these from Daiso. They were very cheap. And what I did was we worked out what sections we needed. And you can see here that we have a whole heap of sections, and we've got like food, medical, school, clothing, birthdays, allowance, the kids allowance, personal care, petrol, Inverell, which is where my parents live, car expenses and car rego in that one, and then we have emergency, miscellaneous, Christmas fund, and our water bill. And I think there's a couple that are missing that we realized after a month that we didn't have and we hadn't allocated for. So they've come in handy, and they work in conjunction with what I have in my planner. So in my planner, I carry a week's worth of food money. I'll move those out of the way. So I carry a week's worth of food money. When the kids get an allowance, the kids' money stays with me. Sometimes Elijah asks to have it in his wallet, but it stays with me. So if we're out and they see something that they want to spend their allowance on, then I have it. So far Elijah's saved half of his, which I'm trying to teach them to keep some and save some. Not keep some, save some. To spend some and keep and save some. School monies, so we put aside a certain amount every month for school expenses, whether it's for sport, gymnastics, all the things that come with paying for school for the kids. Then I have birthdays in here, and that's when I'm out and about and I'm like, I see someone's birthday, so I have that there. I also have a portion of the Christmas fund in there for the same very reason. I try and, because we have such a large family, I try and buy things early if I can. Mainly for the adults, because the kids flip-flop around with what they do and don't like. And then an emergency fund. If something happens while we're out, I always have some emergency money, as well as the credit card, but I will always try and use this before I touch our credit card. I haven't used the credit card yet since we've been doing it. So they're there, and that just slips into my floating envelope pocket. So I don't carry 4 weeks worth of food money on me, because that is way too much money. So that's how we do the finance stuff. So I'll move those out of the way. Okay, so let's have a chat about, oh no, there's also one other planner that I completely forgot about. This is a Muji notebook, a Muji diary almost planner. It has the monthly layout, and so this was December, January. It has them all up until the end of the year, and then it has a plain non-dated one and then it goes into grid paper. And so this has become my blog and YouTube ideas planner. So basically I start with putting up when I'm going to do things or when I'm going to film things, and then I'll highlight the day if they actually got done. So I put my naked cow video up just recently. Yes, I was meant to film this yesterday, but it didn't happen, so it's being filmed today. So that sort of thing. And the notes and stuff at the back, I have little monthly stickers, so when I write things, so there's what I wrote down in January. Obviously not much got done in January because I just couldn't get my act together. I don't know what it was. I think because we got so sick over Christmas with the gastro bug, it all took us out and I was just completely exhausted. So I wasn't ready for 2016 at all this year. So just ideas for like the art sewing journal series and all that sort of thing, breaking down, you know, all bits and pieces for work, not for work, for the blog and for YouTube and all that sort of thing. So it's a very simple layout and a lot different to what I was working with. It's not bombarding me with information, it's just all ideas and notes and things like that. So this is a Muji monthly. It was very cheap, it's very clean, very simple, and I'm enjoying it so far. So that's the simple setup of my YouTube and blog thing. And so now let's talk about journals and sketchbooks and all that fun stuff. So as I mentioned, I am using my gold Giramondo as my written family journal. Nothing's changed. It will all be that way for this year as well, because I really enjoy journaling in this size. I really enjoy the look of them when they're finished, so that stays the same. For art and sketching, I don't think I've talked about this before. When I think it was Cyber Monday happened last year, Chic Sparrow had a 30% off, and with the exchange rate it made it doable. So this is a wide buttered rum Mr. Darcy, and this is has become my no stress sketchbook. And I mean that because we buy really nice sketchbooks, and which I'll show you in a minute, you do some work in it that you really love, and then you get frozen because you don't want to wreck the sketchbook, because you don't want to put anything else in there that might not be perfect. So in here I have bits of watercolor paper that just, you know, happen to make their way in here. And then this is a plain moleskin kaye, and that's all that's in there. It's just one. That's it. It is basic as. So my girlfriend actually gave me this one many years ago, and this is the first time I'm using it. So the paper is doesn't hold up to anything. I'm serious. Everything bleeds on it except colored pencils, but I'm persevering. And the way I'm making it work is I am actually pasting things onto the areas that have bled. So if I draw something that I enjoy on a scrap of paper, I'll cut it out and paste it in and cover it up, basically, because even my Zig clean color things bled, and that's why there's this here. And I have sheets of watercolor paper that I've pasted in sections for where other things have bled. So it's kind of become like a patchwork journal of bits and pieces. So it's like a no fuss, no stress sketchbook, and I've got things in here that are hideous, like my wonky chairs. And then I've got, you know, things that I really love, like my deer. So it's very no stress, no fuss, no nothing. It's very simple. That's all I have in here besides the sheets of watercolor paper. And it's been really handy and really lovely to carry around. It's very thin, as you can see. I've kept it not bulky because it will travel with me. I take it in my whipping post tote when I'm not carrying a small shoulder bag, because I've been trying to limit what I take with me. So there's that. And when I'm talking about fancy journals and getting frozen because you love something so much you don't want it to get wrecked, I have a couple of A5 notebooks in here that I use for collecting ideas and things like that, hashing things out. So this is a notebook by one of my favorite illustrators called Fran Nerd. Check her out. She's a YouTube channel. She's amazing. She's like one of my favorite people to watch. I mean, look at that. It's beautiful. So this is my Moleskine sketchbook, and the lovely little deer was from my friend Ali over at Ali Brown. And this is where I started Inktober, and this is some of my inky drawings that I did in Inktober, and I started to really fall in love with this sketchbook. And what happens is you get all paranoid. This shouldn't be in there. This was an accident. I was just going to keep this journal for ink and pops of color, and then I drew her. So she'll be the only colored thing in here. But then I froze. So my mission is to use this sketchbook more for my more finished works, my more fancy stuff, if you can call it that. But I need to get over it and start using it more. But this is what I mean by frozen in fear sketchbook. So my aim is to use this one more, and to use my little, by the way, this is a Rotofaden A5 in chocolate brown. It is beautiful. I did a review on it when it arrived, so I'll link that down below if you want more information on this pretty little thing. So I have this one for my more inky drawings with pops of color, my more finished and polished drawings. And then I am also working in a Strathmore soft cover watercolor journal, and that is because I am taking a watercolor course, which is Wonderland, which is a course by Jane Davenport, which features watercolor and Alice in Wonderland. And so I have you know, all my art and things that I started with when I was too scared to use the fancy journal. I bought it and loved it and patted it, but I didn't do actually anything in it. So I worked a heap on scrap bits of watercolor paper until I said to myself, you're being an idiot, get it together and start working in your actual journal. So I have all these. I think there's another one down here. Yeah. My little one. But yeah, so I made a little pocket for the front to put all my little bits and pieces in there, and I actually started using the journal. It doesn't all fit in frame, but you can see that I've started in here, that I am actually using the journal. So that is where this journal will come in, and I don't think I'll fill it up in the course. I could be wrong, but it is one of the journals that I am going to use in 2016. Well, I am using it. I've started. So haha, go me. So there's that one. And then this one, I almost didn't put it in because I don't use it all the time, but it's a big chunky Canson sketchbook, and it's just where I do a lot of my learning and a lot of my ugly stuff. I call it the catcher of the ugly, and so stuff that obviously I'm working through and I'm trying to work out and all that sort of stuff. It's another no fuss sketchbook basically, and so nothing's really finished, it has a really nice, listen to that, that is such a nice sound. So this is basically where bits and pieces come, and I collect things in the back that inspire me. And I also, are they in here? Yeah. I print out alphabets that I want to copy, and then I laminate them and put them in the back so that I have them as reference if I want to do some lettering, because lettering is my, shall we say, very not strong point. So there is that, and I don't use, oh, I just knocked the camera. I don't use this very often, but I do use it sometimes when I need to try and work something out and I don't have anything else on me, and I don't mind because this is the catcher of the ugly. So this gets used probably once a month. And I think that is it for my planners and journals for 2016. If you have any questions on anything or you want more specifics on some of them or a breakdown, just leave a comment below. So this is my pile. Goes on and on and on and on. So basically this, it looks like a lot, but this year I decided that I would go with what felt right, and this feels right. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I need to record a few more because I need to get them all scheduled up before we move. I'm also going to be doing a video on minimalist supplies because I'm packing up my supplies very soon, and I'm only packing a small amount of things to work with over the next month and a half. So I'll show you what I pack, and then I'll also probably do some snippets of what I've created with a limited amount of supplies. But I need to get some pre-filming done, so I will talk to you soon. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe and be part of the little creative nook I've got going on here. I will see you guys very soon. Have a lovely week. Bye.